Okay. Hi everyone. Good evening. Welcome to Text webinar on deep learning in everyday life. So this is going to be a 1.5 hour webinar from 6:30 to 8 p.m. Okay. So I will be showing you some demos in deep learning. Okay, and explaining how those applications work. Okay. So to give a small intro about ourselves, so I am Anirudh and I'm joined by my friend Kishore. So Kishore will be answering your queries in the chat, and he'll also be showing you a few demos today, okay? And I will be explaining the concepts today in the webinar. So to give a short intro, both myself and Kishore are alumni of Madras Institute of Technology, Anna University, and we have co-founded the startup Falcon Edutech. And as Falcon Edutech, we conduct workshops on cutting-edge technologies like computer vision, robotics, and embedded systems, deep learning, and stuff like that. Okay, so we have successfully conducted 3 workshops before, and are planned for the next workshop as well. So we'll let you know those details towards the end of the webinar. And just a few, so that's it. That's the small intro about ourselves, and just some basic instructions I want to give you. Like, you can all mute your microphones. Okay. So if you want to like ask some questions, if you have any queries in the middle of the webinar, you can feel free to unmute your microphones and ask questions. Or during the webinar itself, sometimes I will be just be asking some questions. Okay. If you know the answer to those questions, please unmute your microphone and answer it. Okay. Will keep the webinar little interactive. Okay. Otherwise, you can just unmute. You can just mute your microphones. Okay. And if you have any queries, yeah, as I said, you can feel free to unmute and ask any questions, or you can also post your questions in the chat box, and Kishore will be answering your questions in the chat box. Okay. And one more thing, as we said, we will be providing certificates for the people who are attending this webinar. And for that, we will actually put a Google Form link. Okay, at the end of the webinar, we'll be putting a Google Form link in this Teams chat itself. Okay, in this Teams chat itself, we'll be putting a Google Form link. So the people who want to get a certificate, who people who are attending this webinar can go and fill the Google form to get the certificate. Okay. Okay, so those are the basic things. So with that, I guess we can just get started with the webinar's content. So I'll be switching off my webcam now, and I'll share my screen. And one more thing is, we are also recording this webinar. Okay, so we'll be uploading this webinar on YouTube also by the end of the day, today by tonight. So in case you miss some portions of the webinar or something like that, you can anytime revisit the webinar. Okay, on YouTube. Okay. Is the screen visible to everyone? So when I ask some questions in between the webinar, do unmute your microphone and answer. Okay. So is the screen visible to everyone? Hello. Is my screen visible to everyone? You can mute your microphone.
Yes,
Okay, Nancy. Okay,
yes,
cool.
sir.
Okay, cool. Yeah, then I will get on and I'll start with the webinar's content. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So before starting the webinar, just want to pay our small tribute to Dr. Geoffrey Hinton, so who is regarded as the godfather of deep learning. So he is a man who played a major role in popularizing this technology of deep learning. Okay, so that's why we wanted to pay a small tribute to him. So with that, we'll just go into the content. So let's just start with the basic introduction. Okay. So what is artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning? Okay. We'll just get into the basic definition for all this. Okay. So artificial intelligence is anything, any software or any computer program which automates something. Okay, which automates a task or makes something easier. Okay, for example, is my screen properly visible? Is my screen not getting stuck or anything like that? Okay. Okay, if it's not stuck, okay. If any problem means, do let me know. Okay. Yeah. So So artificial intelligence is basically any software or program that automates a task. Okay. For example, if you have something like an if-else statement in your C++ or Python. Okay. So if this condition is true, then perform this then perform this. Else you perform some other thing. Okay. So that is basically even those kind of applications actually come under artificial intelligence, because the computer itself is able to take a decision, right, based on some parameter. The computer itself is able to take a decision on its own. Okay. Based on that if else condition. So that is all those come under artificial intelligence. Okay. It's a broad domain. Artificial intelligence is a very broad domain. And machine learning is a subset under artificial intelligence. Okay. So to those who don't know what is machine learning, we'll try to explain it to you in as simple terms as possible. Okay. So here we have two sets of values. Okay. X and y. And as you can see here, y is a function of x. Okay. Y equal to f of x. So when x is 1, the y value is also 1. Okay. When x is 2, y is 4. When x is 3,
Sorry for interrupting. Are you
yeah.
working out?
Uh,
Are
what
you
happened now?
working out in this screen?
What happened?
Anirudh, your screen is stuck, I guess.
Okay, okay. I'll stop and share once again. Okay, is my screen visible to everyone now?
No, the screen is not visible.
Okay,
It's black.
okay. Once again, I will stop and share screen again. Uh, is it clear now? Is it visible now?
Let's wait for some 5 seconds.
Yeah, yeah.
It's still not visible.
Okay.
Yeah, it's visible now.
Okay, okay. Cool. Okay. Is it visible to everyone?
Please do.
Okay. Okay, cool. So we have two sets of values, okay, x and y here, okay. So as you can see here, y is a function of x, okay. And so when x is 1, y is also 1, okay. When x is 2, y is 4. When x is 3, y equal to 9. Yeah. Any doubt now? Any doubt? Any doubt? Arjun Kumar, any doubt? If no doubt,
No,
please,
you
yeah,
still not.
please turn off your mic. Yeah, please mute your microphones. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, so when x is equal to 2, y is 4, okay? When x is 3, y is 9. And x is 4, y is 16, okay? So based on these values, can you find out what is this f of x? So,
Five.
yeah, super. Yeah, it is f of x is nothing but x square, okay? Yeah, just a second. Yeah. Yeah, f of x is nothing but x square, y is nothing but x square, okay. So yeah, you were able to automatically find that out, right, just by seeing this data and this data, right, the set of input, these are input data and these are the corresponding output data, right. By seeing these two sets of data itself, you are able to find out the function relating the two data, right, two sets of data. So okay, so this was you were able to find this out, right. So now so now if your machine itself was able to find out this function, okay, if your machine itself was able to find out just by looking at this set of input data and this output data, if your machine itself was able to find out that this function is x square or some other function, okay, then that is what will come as machine learning, okay. That is what is the broad definition of machine learning. So machine learning is nothing but it's a function approximator. Okay, machine learning is nothing but function approximation. Okay, so you'll have a set of inputs, you'll have a set of outputs, and machine learning is something where your computer itself will try to find the function connecting the input to the output. Okay, so if your computer itself tries to find that out, it is called as machine learning. Okay, function approximation. So let us see briefly how that will work. Okay, so initially our computer will have some random values. Okay, first our computer will assume something like f of x is equal, so we need to find out this f of x, right, the accurate f of x. Okay, so first we'll have some random values. Okay, is my screen clear now? Is my once again I'll just ask everyone if are there still some people are having problem with my screen.
Hello, Anirudh.
Yeah,
I think your screen is stuck.
stuck.
Okay, I'll take over. Okay, I'll take over. Okay, don't worry. Yeah, okay. Actually, there's some connectivity issues with my friend right here. So no issues. I'll take on from here. Okay, so I'll turn on my screen share. So is everyone able to see my screen now? Is everyone able to see my screen? You can turn on your mic and you can.
Yeah, now it's visible.
Okay.
Now it's visible.
Okay. So yeah, Anirudh will be focusing on the chats. Okay, he will be replying to the things in the chat while I will be taking the thing. Okay, so it doesn't matter. Yeah. Okay, so basically, this is the same thing which Anirudh was speaking about. In machine learning, what will basically happen is that we'll have some inputs. Okay, so we'll have some inputs x, we'll have some inputs x, and we'll have some outputs y. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that, and then we'll have some outputs like 1, 4, 9, 16, 25. Okay, so yeah, as you all guessed, now currently y is equal to f of x, and this f of x value is basically x square. Yeah, many of you got the answer right. So it's like, how are you able to just look at the data? Okay, so now this is basically called as data. Okay, so you looked at the inputs and you looked at the outputs and you automatically guessed it, right? Yeah, that is what you did, right? So this is something which we can call as human intelligence. Okay. This is something which we can call as human intelligence. Basically, a human is looking at the data, he's looking at the input, and he's looking at the output, and he's just guessing the function directly. Y is equal to f of x, y is equal to x square. This is the function. Okay, so now I want you to answer some small question. Okay, now you're just looking to these 5 numbers and you have predicted this function. Now, if I take a number 10, will we get the value 100 now by using the same formula? We will get it, right?
Yes.
So what you can say is you just looked at 5 data and you predicted something. Okay, but that prediction will work on not just these 5 numbers, but they will also work on other numbers like 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 100, 10,000, whatever. Okay, so this is basically what is called as sample efficiency, something like that. Okay, so we can just look at small set of examples and we can apply that logic to more than just 5 examples. Okay, so this is human intelligence. If a human does it, it is human intelligence. Okay, so now in machine learning or machine intelligence, what will basically happen is that we'll have a small algorithm. Okay, so I'll call it as ML. Okay, ML means machine learning. Okay, so this algorithm, just like our humans, it will just look at these 5 inputs and the corresponding 5 outputs, and it will try to predict this function on its own. Okay, so is this how we usually do in Python? Like in Python, if I should get a number and if it should output this, how do we implement it in Python usually, or C++, anything? Okay, so I'm getting a number x and I'm going to calculate the value y, which is the square of x. How will we do this in C++ or Python or whatever? Y is equal to in Python? How will we implement in Python? Y is equal to x. You can turn on your mic and you can let us know.
X to stars and the number.
Yeah, x star star asterisk asterisk and
2.
2. Yeah. Okay, so this is basically the square operation. Okay, so this is basically how we do in simple programming language, but in machine learning it won't be like that. Okay, so we'll have a small box which is called as ML. Okay, so initially this will predict some random junk. Okay, so it will predict something like x to the power of 0.5, y is equal to x to the power of 0.5. Okay, so if we substitute, if we input these numbers to this junk function, what we'll basically get is 1.414, 1.732, 2, and then we'll get some root 5, something like that. Okay, so now they are not the desired values, right? They are not the desired values. Okay, so it's far off from the predicted answers are very different from the actual answers which we must get. Okay, so just like a human makes mistakes, a machine learning will also initially make mistakes. Okay, so it will try to improve on its mistakes. So what will basically happen is now it will try to give something like x to the power of 1. So now I'll get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now is this desirable? Is this a desirable answer? Is this answer desired? Like we want this, so we are getting this. Is this a desirable outcome?
No.
No. So what will happen is that now we will tell this machine learning algorithm we'll use some mathematical tricks to tell this algorithm that it is being wrong. Okay, so what it will do is it will try to get a even better answer. Okay, now it will start from 0.5, then it went to 1, now it will go to 1.5. Okay, so which is better out of the three? Is x to the power of 0.5 better, or is x to the power of 1 better, or is x to the power of 1.5 better? Assuming that we should get the ultimate answer, which we should get this. Okay, but the machine learning algorithm is predicting these things. Out of these three, which is the best one? Out of these three, okay, x to the power of 1.5. So what we can basically say is the trend is the algorithm is getting better each time. Okay, so what will happen is that now it is slightly better than these two outcomes, but now we'll try to train it even further, or we'll try to teach this algorithm even further, that will give something like x to the power of 1.99999999. Okay, so now is this very close to the desired outcome? Yeah, okay, but still it's not the best outcome which we can get. Okay, so but that's okay. Okay, so a machine learning algorithm will not get 100% accurate result, but it will get very close to getting it right. Okay, so in this case it is better to use y is equal to x square. It's better to use y is equal to x star star 2, because we will get a 100% accurate answer every time. But if we are using a machine learning algorithm, we will get y is equal to x to the power of 1.9999. Okay, so this is not the desired outcome. Okay, in this case, it is better to use programming, but in certain cases, it will be beneficial to use machine learning rather than using programming. Okay, so in that we will look at those kind of examples in some few more minutes. Okay, so to summarize what we have taught till now, there are two things. One is computer programming, and then there's the other thing which is called as machine learning. So in computer programming, you will basically use if-else statements or something. Okay, we'll be using some syntax, and the computer will only do this. Okay, it will only do what it has been told to do. Okay, but in machine learning, we won't be telling it. Okay, we'll only be showing it some data. We'll be showing it some inputs, and we'll be showing it some outputs. Okay, so for this input, I should get an output. Okay, for an input x, I should get an output y. Okay, so how we can do that is using a function called as f of x. So what our machine learning algorithm basically will do is it will look at this x and y, it will try to predict f of x. Okay, so f of x is a function. F of x is a function. So a machine learning algorithm can be called as a function approximator. Okay, I'll use it as f approx, function approximator. Can anyone guess why we are using the word approximator? Now we saw a small example, right? We should predict this. We got this. So can anyone look at this and tell why we are using this word approximator?
Because it gives an
It won't
accurate
give you the
Yeah,
exact
it won't give you the
precision.
best result. It will give an approximation of the best result. It won't perfectly get it right, but it will get it almost right. Okay, so please have this in your mind. Okay, because now we will be looking at some few demos, and that approximation, that word will be playing an important role while we are looking at the demos. Okay, so does anyone have any doubts till now? Can we move to the next topic? Look at the chat and you can type yes if you don't have any doubts, or you can even use your mic. Yeah, okay. Oh, what about others? I'll wait for some 5 seconds. Okay, so I assume everyone is able to understand. Yeah, okay, cool. So now let's go to our application. Okay, so there's just one small thing which I should tell. Okay, I should tell about machine learning. Now we are having some inputs and we are having some outputs. Now we had some numbers here and we have some numbers here. Is this digital? Is this a digital data or analog data? These numbers and all.
Digital.
Digital. Okay. So in machine learning, we will be giving some digital input and we will be getting some digital output. Okay. That digital input can be anything. Okay. In this case, it is just some numbers and we are getting some numbers. Okay. But it can be anything else. For example, how can we represent this alphabet A digitally?
Binary representation.
Yeah. So what code do we use for alphabet A?
ASCII.
ASCII. What is the ASCII of this A? 90?
97.
Yeah, okay. So if I'm typing something like to a Google assistant, hey Google, what is the weather right now? So that hey Google, what is the weather right now? That HEW, everything can be converted into ASCII values, some numbers between 0 to 256, something like that, and that number can be fed as the input to our machine learning algorithm. Here we are getting some numbers and we are getting some output numbers, right? That number can be anything. It can have any meaning. Okay. So it can be ASCII values of alphabets, or it can even be something like an image. Okay. In an image, what is the basic element of an image? Image will have lots of
Pixel.
dots. Yeah, pixel.
Pixel.
And what? Yeah, exactly. Everyone, all of you got it right. So what is the relationship? What is present inside a pixel? Can anyone tell? Each pixel will have 3 values. Solunga?
RGB.
RGB values. Okay, so these RGB values of pixels are all numbers. Okay, that number can also be fed to a machine learning algorithm, and similarly, the output will also be a number. Okay, so this number can be an ASCII value, or it can be a pixel, or it can be a probability. Okay, so you might be having some doubts like why should it be a probability? Okay, so we'll look into some demos and it will make more sense to you. Okay, so what is basically happening is that a machine learning algorithm takes digital input and it will give digital output. That digital input can be audio, digitized audio. Okay, so an analog waveform can be converted to digital, and that data can also be fed to a machine learning algorithm. Okay, so does anyone have any doubts till now? Can we move to the next topic? As usual, I will wait for some 5 seconds. Okay. Okay. So if you have any doubts, you can turn on the mic and you can let us know, or you can type in the chat. Okay. So we will be clarifying your doubts. Unga comfort, it's just your comfort. You can ask your doubts in any manner and we will clarify it for you. Okay. So now let's look at some 4 popular applications of deep learning. Okay. So there are some infinite possible applications. Okay. Any task which can be done by a human can also be done by a machine learning or deep learning algorithm. So now we'll be only looking at some 4 things. Okay, so we were talking about machine learning, right? So I jumped to this word called as deep learning. Okay, so deep learning is basically just a machine learning algorithm only. Okay, so machine learning has hundreds of techniques. There is something like KNN. Okay, so K nearest neighbor, and then K means, like that. There are some hundreds of algorithms in machine learning. Out of all those 100 algorithms, there is one particular algorithm called as deep learning, and this is very special. Okay, we are treating it as a separate entity of its own. Okay, why we are treating it as a separate entity is because this, unlike any other algorithm, this uses something called as neural networks. Okay, a deep learning algorithm uses something called as neural networks. Okay, so we'll look at what the neural network is. Basically, a machine learning algorithm which makes use of a neural network is called as a deep learning algorithm. There are lots of machine learning algorithms. Out of this, we are only using neural networks. So we in this webinar, we will only be looking at neural networks and deep learning. Okay, so there are some 4 applications which we will be looking into now. First one is called as classification. Okay, now classification is basically categorization. I can use the word categorization. Okay, so how are like there are some students who are in 10th standard, there are some students who are in 7th standard, there are some students who are in 1st standard, 2nd standard, like that. Okay, so how exactly are they being categorized into these standards depending on the complexity of what? Students are being categorized into 1st standard student, 2nd standard student based on the complexity
Age.
of what they are learning or what they are being taught. Yeah. Okay. So similarly, that is basically what categorization or classification is. Okay. So here also there are some categorization which is being taking place. Okay. So now currently we are looking into this image. This is an image of a ship. Okay. So we are categorizing it as a ship. Okay. So now we are looking into this image. This is a dog and we are categorizing it into a dog. Okay, so anything which looks like this is a dog. Okay, anything that looks like this is a ship. Anything that looks like this is a frog. And similarly, anything that looks like this is a car. This is also a car, while this is also a car. This is also a car. This is also a car. Okay, so there is some logic involved. Okay, so based on that logic, we are categorizing data into different categories. This is called as classification. Okay, so the next thing which deep learning can do is something called as regression. Okay, so regression is somewhat similar to classification. Now I'll give a good example and you will be able to differentiate what classification and regression is. Okay, now we have some, let's assume that we have a car. We have a car. This car has a camera at its front. There is a camera at its front. So it is traveling in a road. Okay. So now please turn on your mics and please let me know now what exactly will this camera see now? What exactly it will look at a particular instant of time while this is traveling the road? What will it see?
Front of the image which is in front of the car.
Yeah, see what will be in front of the car usually. It will be looking
Road.
at the road. Yeah, okay. So now assume that currently we are looking at the road and we are getting an image like this. Okay, so now let's take 3 different images which a car can see. Something like this, something like this. Okay, so this is a road, this is a road, this is a road, and this is a road. So now assume that, now let's look into classification. Okay, now in classification, we categorize an image into different categories, right? So, okay, we'll be looking at an image and we will be assigning a category. Now let's take 3 categories. Okay, so let's take the category left, let's take a category forward, and let's take a category right. Now, can anyone look at these 3 images and tell the respective category of each image?
The first image is forward,
Forward.
Right.
left, and right.
The next category is right. It's left. It's left. And the third one is, yeah, someone said it's right. Okay, so now let's give some more meaning to it. Okay, let's expand on this definition. Okay, so now if my camera categorizes an image as forward, it will go straight, 90 degree. Okay, so now if my camera categorizes an image as a right image, it will go 0 degree. Okay, so this is 0 degree. This is 90 degree. So now if my camera looks at this image and if it categorizes that right as a left turn, okay, it will look into this and it will go right, and it will look into this and it will go left. Okay, so here we will go 180. Yeah. So for this you will go 0 degree. For this you will go 180 degree, and for this we will go for this we will go 90 degree. For this we will go 180 degree, and for this we will go 0 degree. Okay, so now can anyone tell me, is this a good approach? Like I'm going 90 degree here, that's okay. I'm going 180 degree and 0 degree for these two turns. Is it good?
No.
Why?
Angle may differ.
It will be a very abrupt turn.
Yeah, it will be a very, very sharp turn. Okay, so for even these kind of turns also, it will take 180 degree. For these kind of turns also, it will take 180 degree. Okay, so for here, we should go something like 135 degree, something like that. Okay, similarly for here, we should go some 45 degree, something like that. Okay, so now I'll ask you another question. So is 180, 135, 45, is this enough now? Now we have some more categories. Now is that okay now?
No.
Okay, so how many categories do we need?
Infinite.
Yeah, infinite. Okay, so how many values are in between the 0 and 180 is basically infinite values. Okay, it can be 0.1, it can be 2.3, it can be 7.666666, something like that. Okay, so there are some infinite floating point values or infinite decimals in between 0 and 180. So can we use classification here? Classification will basically just some finite values in between 0 and 180. Can we use classification? No. Okay, so what you'll basically do is, that is where this regression will come into play. Okay, so regression is basically a what we are discussing now. Okay, so it will just return a value in between two different numbers. Okay, so in between 0 and 180 there are some infinite possible values. Okay, so regression is capable of giving any number in between these two ranges. Okay, so this is the lower range and this is the upper range. Between these two, it can give any number. It can give 7.666, it can give anything. Okay, so now to give you a better understanding, can anyone tell what is the difference between this and this?
This is a digital one
Digital and
and that.
analog.
Yeah, exactly. The left one is digital and the right one is analog. Okay, so classification is basically like digital. Okay, it will only give 0 or 1. Okay, sometimes it can give 0 or 1 or 2 or 3, something like that. Okay, it can only give some finite values. Okay, that values are fixed and they cannot change. Okay, but for analog, it can give any value between 0 and 1. Okay, so it can give 0 or it can give 1.1. Sorry, it can give 0 or it can give 0.1. It can give 0.5. It can give 0.76, something like that. Okay, so this is basically what regression is. Okay, so this is the difference between classification and regression. Okay, so now let's move to the next topic. Can anyone tell what's going on here? This is text completion. Can anyone tell what's going on in these two images?
The machine
It
learning
automatically
is text based.
Yeah, super. Someone even used the word machine learning. So yeah, it's a very, very good answer. Okay, so basically our algorithm, our deep learning algorithm is looking at a text. It's looking at a text and it is predicting what will come next. Okay, it's looking at this and it will predict what comes next. Okay, so I only typed HO and it's typing what will come next. Okay, it's predicting what will come next. PE. Okay, you are doing well, something like that. Okay, so what is the difference between these two? Here it's predicting the words, but here what is happening?
It suggests
Yeah, it
based on
only gives three
Predicting a
options.
response.
It's only just gives some three predefined options. Okay, so even that is also machine learning. Okay, so there are some two kind of things. Okay, so now can anyone guess? Can anyone guess what is the type of input which is going into this deep learning model? Is it an image or is it a audio signal? What is going as an input to a deep learning algorithm now here?
text.
Text. Okay, so a deep learning algorithm which handles text is called as natural language processing. Okay, so natural language processing. Okay, you can even get audio inputs also. Okay, so now can anyone guess popular products which we use? Like can speak to it and it will give me some response. Can anyone give this what products we use, something like that?
Alexa, Google Assistant.
Yeah, Alexa, Siri, Google Assistant, or Microsoft Cortana, anything like that. Okay, so they are all basically this natural language processing algorithms. Okay, so they can give text inputs. Mostly we use text inputs. Okay, so we can even use audio inputs. Okay, so this is also an application of deep learning. Okay, so now finally we have come to gaming. Has anyone played this game called as Dota 2? Okay, if you don't know, I'll just tell you. Okay, so this is a very, very difficult game. Okay, so I can't write some if-else statements to automate this game. Okay, this is a very, very difficult game. It's like it takes some 2 years for you to get good at this game. Okay, so Dota 2 is a strategy game. It takes 2 years for someone to reach the professional status. Okay, so in order to become some world champion, something like that, you have to play this game for some 3-4 years. Okay, so this is a game called as Dota 2. So this is the world's best player, Dende. Okay, so he used to be the world's best player, I guess. So what happened is that OpenAI is a company which was founded by Elon Musk. Okay, so they developed an AI which learned Dota 2 in just some few months. Okay, so it takes many years for a human to get good at this game. But OpenAI's algorithm just took some few months, like 8 months, something like that, and it beat the world's best player in this game. Okay, so similarly, there is another game called as AlphaGo. Okay, this is like there's a game called as Go. Okay, so Go is like chess. Okay, it's more complex than chess. Okay, in chess we only have 8 cross 8 squares, but in Go we have some many more squares. There are many more complex strategies. Okay, so this is a game which cannot be programmed using if-else statements. If the player moves the coin here, you should move here, like that. Okay, we can't hard code all the solutions. So here also they are using something called as deep learning. They have developed a Google startup called as DeepMind, developed an algorithm called as AlphaGo, which learned how to play this Go game, and it bet the world's best player in this game. Okay, so this is called as reinforcement learning. So these are just 4 applications which I have stated here. Okay, so but there are infinite applications which we can perform using deep learning. Does anyone have any doubts till now? Idhurikku sonna ellame clear ah purinja? Is anyone else not able to see my screen? Keertana, are you able to see my screen now?
No.
No? Okay, I'll turn off my screen share and I'll turn it on once again.
Yeah, it's visible. Bro.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah. So, do you have any doubts till now? All right.
But can you explain the reinforcement learning little bit more?
Yeah, reinforcement learning is basically not like we have 2 things. One is called as supervised learning, and another one is called as reinforcement learning. Okay, supervised learning will be showing it the inputs and will be showing it the outputs, and it should predict the f of x. Okay, I will be showing it some max problems, and I will be showing it some key. I will be showing it the solution, the answer in the textbook period. I will be having the answers, right? So we have the inputs and we already know what the answer is going to be. Okay, so in supervised learning, it will just look at the input and output. It will try to predict f of x. But in reinforcement learning, it won't be like that. Okay, so it will basically be like a human who is learning to walk. Okay, is there some input and output for a human learning to walk? Like he will just is there a particular way to walk? Like if you are like this, then you should move your leg like this. There's nothing like that, right? In reinforcement learning, no one is giving us the solution. Okay, so there's no teacher who is teaching us how to walk. We learn to walk on our own. Okay, there's no input and output. Okay, so it will be like it will just fall. It will try to walk. It will just fall and it will get hurt. Okay, if it's getting hurt, it means it is getting some negative value. If it is learning how to walk properly, it will get some positive value. So now I'll ask you a question, ma'am. If we try to maximize the positive value and if we try to minimize this negative value, what will happen at the end if you are trying to walk?
We will get the correct solution.
Yeah, we will eventually learn how to walk. Okay, so in reinforcement learning, there won't be some inputs and outputs. You will just throw an algorithm into a game. Okay, so you will just make it play against some human players. Okay, there are no specific solutions. Okay, so if it makes a move, we will give a comment on it. Okay, so we will just tell it whether it won the game or it lost the game. Okay, we won't be telling it like this, for this you should do this, for this you should do like this, like that. Okay, so we won't be giving it specific instructions. It will just take some random steps and we will just give some comment on it, like, yeah, you did good, no, you did bad, something like that. Okay, and it will try to improve and eventually it will get better than humans. Are you able to understand, ma'am? That is the difference between supervised learning and reinforcement learning. If you still have any doubts, I'll clear it after the webinar. Is it okay, ma'am? No?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
okay. So now let's move to the first application for today. Okay, so as I said, now a deep learning algorithm can have an image input or an audio input or whatever, but in this webinar we will be looking at 3 demos and we will only be looking at image based applications. Okay, we won't be using NLP, we won't be doing NLP, we won't be doing reinforcement learning, we won't be doing natural the text completion like that. Okay, so we will only be looking at computer vision based or image processing based tasks. Okay, so now before that I'll just tell you what an image is present inside an image. Okay, so as someone already said, an image consists of pixels. Okay, image consists of multiple pixels. Okay, now this is a 3x3 image and it consists of 9 pixels now. Okay, so I have each pixel has RGB, RGB, RGB like that. Okay, RGB, 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 RGB like that. So can anyone tell me, is this a black and white image or is this a color image? Like, is this a color image or is this a black and white image?
Color image.
Color image. Okay, so for a color image, each pixel will have 3 values. Okay, so now let's look at what they are. As you already told, it is RGB. Okay, so it will be looking at red, green, and blue. Okay, so in computer vision, we will be having it like blue, green, and red. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so now assume that this is a single pixel. Now, what is the color of this pixel now?
Blue 0, green 0, red 0.
Yeah, so it is black. Okay, so for black, the blue, green values are all 0. Okay, now I'll move it to blue. I'll move blue to 255. Now we are getting blue. Okay, so in order to get yellow, can anyone guess what we can do? Can we just
Blue
use
and
red?
greens.
Blue and green. If we use blue and green, will we get yellow or? Are you sure, ma'am?
Green.
Okay, we'll try to mix blue and green. We are getting cyan color. Okay, so did anyone else give some other answer? Yeah, red and green. So now let's try to mix red and green. Okay, so by mixing these blue, green, and red values for different combinations of blue, green, and red, we will get different colors. Okay, for yellow, we should mix yellow, green, and red. Okay, so what are these 3 colors called as?
Basic colors.
Or இன்னொரு வார்த்தை இருக்கு, P ல ஆரம்பிக்கும். There's another word. It will start in P. These 3 colors are
primary colors.
Primary colors. Okay, so these 3 are the primary colors which our eyes can see. Or any other color is basically just a mixture of these 3 colors. Okay, so this yellow is not just yellow. It is basically just green plus red. Okay, so we can get pure red, we can get pure green, we can get pure blue. We can basically produce any color. We can even get brown. Okay. This is basically like brown. Okay, this is some brownish color. Okay, so by mixing blue, green, and red, we can produce any color. Okay, that is why digital images only have BGR values in pixels. Okay, because by just using these BGR values, we can reproduce any colors. Okay, so this is basically what is present inside a single pixel. Okay, so now this is a single pixel which has red, green, and blue. Similarly, there will be multiple pixels. Each pixel will have RGB like that. Okay, so can anyone tell what is the difference between these RGB and these RGB? They are having lesser. They are having lesser intensity. Okay, this is having lesser intensity, and they are having lesser intensity. So, will both pixels have the same color? Can anyone guess?
No.
No. Okay, so different pixels have different colors, and that is how we get an image. Okay, an image will have multiple colors, and all those colors can be reproduced by using this pixels and RGB values. Okay, so now let's move to our first application. Okay, so before going into deep learning, I want to stress why it is important to use deep learning. Okay, in order to do that, let's try to solve a problem without using deep learning. Okay, so let's try to solve a problem without using deep learning. Okay, so now currently here we have a milk which is currently boiling. Okay, so now I'll just run a small demo now. So before that, here we have a video of a milk which is boiling. Yeah, here we have a video of a milk which is boiling. Okay, so now you can see this is a video. What is a video made up of? A video is made up of,
Images.
yeah, it is a collection of images. Right, 1 minute. Yeah, a video is made up of multiple images. So in order to process a video, what can we do? We can process multiple
Images.
yeah, images. Okay, so that is just one thing which I want to give a small heads up. Okay, so by the word video processing, I basically mean image processing done again and again and again. Okay, so different images will be processed one after the other. That is basically what is video processing. Okay, so now here we have a video of a milk boiling. Now by just looking at that image, we should be able to tell whether we should turn off our stove or not. Okay, so I have a small program written using Python. Now this algorithm is looking at that video and it is telling whether I should turn off or not. Okay, so currently you can see that this algorithm is telling that I should turn off the stove. Okay, so the person has already turned off the stove. Now I'll run it once again. Now currently it's telling that the milk is just boiling. Okay, we don't have to turn off the stove. Now let's run this video for a while longer. Now it's telling get ready. Okay, the milk hasn't boiled yet. Okay, it still hasn't it's still not overflowing. Okay, it's about to overflow, so it's telling get ready. So you can see that the person is bringing his hands towards the stove. Okay, now I'll resume the video. So now it's telling that I should turn off the stove and the person is turning off the stove. Okay, so this is a small algorithm which doesn't use deep learning. Okay, so let's see how that is done. So in order to explain that, we have to look into another color system. Okay, so currently we are dealing with color images, but I used another word, right? I mentioned another kind of an image. What is that? Color image. Okay, I'll give a clue. Shivaji Ganesan movies or old MGR movies will be in this format.
Black.
Black and white. Yeah, black and white. Okay, so in computer vision, we won't be calling it as black and white. We will be calling it as grayscale. Okay, because there is just not just black and white. There is more than just black and white. There are even some gray colors. Okay, so now I'll show you what is the difference between this BGR or blue, green, red and this grayscale. Now assume that this is a single pixel. Now each pixel has how many values now?
254.
No. Previously in color image we had 3 values. Each pixel had 3 values. B, G, R, G, B. Now here each pixel is only having
One value.
one value. Okay, so that is basically the difference between a color image and a grayscale image. Okay, so we call it as black and white, but in technical term we call it as grayscale. Okay, so can anyone tell what is going on here?
It's dark and white.
Yeah, okay, so this is black, 0 is black, 255 is white, and anything in between is
Gray color.
gray. Okay, so that is basically what is a grayscale color system. Okay, so in grayscale we don't be having blue, green, red. Instead we will only be having shades of gray. Okay, we will be having 255 shades of gray here. Okay, so the shade 0 is black, the shade 255 is white, and anything in between is some gray. Okay, this is dark gray, this is light gray, something like that. Okay, so in order for our milk application, in order to just look at an image and tell whether it is a in order to tell whether we should turn off the stove or not, what we are basically doing is we are taking for each frame. Okay, so we'll be having a video, and a video consists of multiple frames. We'll take each frame one after the other and we'll be doing using a logic. Okay, so now let's look at one single frame. Now here we have this frame and we are converting it into a grayscale image. We are taking a color image and we are converting it into a grayscale image. Okay, so we are taking a Kamal Hassan movie and we are converting it into a Shivaji Ganesan old movie, something like that. Okay, Kalathur Kannama like that. Okay, that is a black movie, something like that. Black and white movie, something like that. Okay, so now what color is this milk looking now? Is this some gray color? No, here also it is white, here also it is white. Okay, so basically this it's easier to work with grayscale images. That is why we are converting it into a grayscale image. Okay, so now what we are going to do is each pixel has different values, right? This pixel has different value, this pixel has different value. If we are having a pure white color, okay, assume that we are having pure white color in these pixels. So what will be the values in these pixels? The grayscale value?
255.
255. Okay, so what you are basically going to do is we are going to do some trick. Okay, so all the pixels which have a intensity above this 230, those pixels alone should be extracted. Everything else should be ignored. Okay, so that is one trick which we are going to do now. Okay, so we are going to take all the pixels which are above, having a value above 230, and we are only going to take those values. Everything else will be black. Okay, all the values which had a value greater than 230 will be white. Okay, so this is true, this is false, something like that. Okay, so someone is able to notice something odd. Okay, so we only wanted to extract the milk because it is white, but we are getting even this burner, we are even getting this utensil luster. Why are we getting that?
Because of reflection, and then the color is white.
Exactly. Okay, so even these pixels are also white. Okay, so we only wanted to extract the milk, but even here also we are getting pixels which are not just milk. Even we are even getting this utensils, the burner, and all those things. Okay, so is this desirable?
No.
No. Okay, so that is why we'll be moving to deep learning. But let's just look at how we are achieving this using simple non-deep learning method. Okay, so now what we are going to do is these are all called as noise. Okay, these are all called undesirable things are called as noise. Okay, so we'll try to do some noise removal techniques, and we have eliminated these things. Okay, so this is called as noise removal. Okay, so are we getting a good image now? Is this disable now? Even after noise removal, we are getting some unwanted things, right? So, but okay, we'll adjust with this. Okay, so now what you're going to do is there are some 4 blobs here. There is one blob 1, blob 2, blob 3, blob 4. Okay, we are having 4 white regions. We are only going to take the region which has a bigger size. Okay, so now what we are going to do is we are going to count the number of pixels in this blob. Okay, so now I'm going to ask a small question to you now, and you're going to answer it now. Okay, so I'll run the program once again. Just focus on this blob now. Okay, just focus on this blob. Okay, so now currently this blob is small. Okay, so the number of pixels inside this blob is small. Now what is happening? What is happening here? The blob is, what is happening to the blob? What is happening to the white region? Yeah, it is becoming bigger and bigger. So the number of pixels, so the number of pixels is increasing. So can anyone guess what is the relationship between the number of pixels in the blob and this message?
The milk is boiling if it increases.
Exactly. So if we have some, let's say, if we have only 20,000 pixels inside a blob, okay, 20,000 or lesser than 20,000, then the milk is only boiling. If we have more than 20,000 pixels in that blob, something like 21,000, something like that, then we should get ready. So if we, let's say we have some 25,000 pixels, if we have more than 25,000 pixels, we should turn off the stove, something like that. Okay, so what exactly are we doing here? We are looking at an image and we are assigning 3 categories. So what is this application called as now? We are looking at an image and we are telling, is this
classification?
Classification, yeah, okay. So this is basically classification without deep learning. Okay, so I'm looking at an image and I am calculating this area or the number of pixels in this white region, and I am classifying it as boiling or turn off or get ready, something like that. Okay, so here we are not using deep learning, right? So this is our first application. So here we can see that the problem of this approach is that even pixels which are not milk are also being classified. Okay, so this is the problem with our first approach. Okay, so in order to avoid this, we will be moving into deep learning. Okay, so let's look at a deep learning based classification. Okay, So is everyone able to understand till now? Let's for some 5 seconds.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. You can type in the chat too, if you are able to understand. If you have any doubts, you can ask now. Okay, or else I will move to the next topic. Okay. So now, what is basically happening is that we are just looking at an image and then we are classifying it as boiling or turn off or get ready. Okay. So here also, let's look at another deep learning based classification where we will be classifying images. Okay. So now, I'm going to ask a question now. Can you write a if else statement or something like that? Okay. So here we are using if else statements. If if pixels is 20 lesser than 20,000, it's boiling. If pixels is greater than 20,000, it's get ready. If pixels is greater than 25,000, it's turn off, something like that. Okay, so can you write some if else statements and tell whether this is a cat or an image is a cat or an image is a dog, something like that? Can you try to attempt and find some logic?
No.
No.
Okay, so even if you are able to write some logic which is able to differentiate this image and this image, would that same logic work on this image and this image?
No.
Yeah, no. Okay, so it is impossible to write a if else statement, something logic on image pixels and things such that it will be able to tell this as a cat and it will be able to tell this as a dog and it will be able to tell this as a cat and something like that. Okay, so it is not possible to do image classification for complex things using simple programming language. Okay, so I was telling you, right, x square y is equal to x square star star 2 is better than machine learning algorithm figuring something like 0.999 something like that. Okay, but there are some applications where we can't arrive at this solution itself. Okay, this is one such example. Okay, so in such cases where we can't write some if else statement to classify an image, we can at least use machine learning. Okay, so rather than not being able to do anything, we can at least use an inferior approach like machine learning something. Okay, so in this case machine learning is superior actually. Okay, so that is the kind of applications where we use deep learning or machine learning something. Okay, so even if I use the word machine learning, I'm only meaning deep learning here. Okay, so let's look at a demo now. Okay, so let's look at our second demo. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on a deep learning program. It is going to access my web camera. It's going to access my web camera now, and it's going to tell what it is looking at. Okay, so now currently I'll give a small heads up. Okay, so you might get confused. Okay, now what this deep learning algorithm is going to do is deep learning algorithm. It will look at an image and it will tell whether it is a dog or a cat. Okay, so sorry, a dog or a cat. Now if I show it a pigeon or a human, something like that. Okay, even if we show something other than a dog or a cat, still it will try to tell whether it is a dog or a cat only. Okay, so I'm giving a small heads up. Okay, so now let's look at this program. Now currently it is looking at me and it is telling that I'm a dog. Okay, so I'm not a dog, but still it will just look at an image and it will tell whether it's a dog or a cat. Okay, so it's looking at one image again and again and again. Okay, so it will take one frame and it will tell whether it's a dog or a cat. It will take the next frame, it will tell whether it's a dog or a cat, something like that. Okay, so now I am not a dog, but let's see what it will tell whether when I show it a cat or a dog. Okay, so now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show. Does anyone have any doubts? If you don't have any doubts, you can please mute your mic. Okay? Someone has unmuted your mic, that's why I'm telling you that. Okay, so now I'm going to show it an image of an actual dog, and it's telling that it is a dog. Okay, now I'll show it an image of a cat, and it's telling that this is a cat. I'll show it an image of another cat, and then there's a cat. This is a dog, and the deep learning algorithm is telling it's a dog. Now let's look at more images. It's looking at a dog. It's looking at a cat here. It's looking at a dog here. Okay, so this is basically deep learning based classification. Okay, here we are using neural networks. Okay, so how are we able to do this? Okay, how did we achieve this deep learning algorithm? How did we arrive at this deep learning? How did I create this algorithm? Okay, that is what we are going to look into now. Okay, so how I did that is, in order to explain how that happens, we have to explain what is going on inside a human brain. Okay, so in order to tell how a computer can do that, we have to first tell how a human is able to do that. Okay, so humans have something called as neurons. Okay, a neuron is basically just a cell which is present in our nervous system. Okay, so our nervous system has trillions and trillions of neurons. Okay, trillions, gazillions, whatever. Okay, so each neuron will look like this. Okay, so they are going to get some inputs and they are going to get some outputs. Okay, so now can anyone guess what that input could be? If not, I'll explain it for you.
Molecule.
Can you repeat?
A molecule.
Yeah, each neuron has lots of molecules. They are made up of molecules. Okay, now they are going to get some inputs. Okay, so they are going to get some electrical signals. Okay, so what can that electrical signal be? Can you guess? Okay, I'll explain it. Okay, so it might be a difficult question. I'll answer it for you. Okay. Yeah, they will get some electrical impulses. That impulses can be anything like touch, smell, taste. Okay, so eyes, the vision which you are seeing, the colors. Okay, so now let's assume that this is me and I have this is my mouth, and let's take that I am taking a chili. Okay, this is a chili. Okay, this is a red chili and I am putting it in my mouth. So what will happen is that my tongue will sense that it is touching a chili. Okay, that chili will fall on my tongue and my tongue will produce some electrical signals, and the electrical signals will go to my neurons. Okay, so this is the input. So now if I eat lots of chili, what should I do? My tongue is burning now.
Drink water.
Yeah, I should drink water. I can put sugar. There are lots of things which you can do. So what will happen is that our neurons will, yeah, you're right. Our neurons will get these electrical signals from our tongue or our skin, something like that. Okay, if I touch my skin will send some electrical signal to the neurons. Okay, so our neurons will process these electrical signals and then they'll give some output. Okay, so that output is basically something like drink water. So in order to drink water, it will send some signals to my hand. My hand will grab the bottle and it will put it near my mouth. Or it can grab some sugar and it can put it on my mouth, something like that. Okay, so this is basically what input and output is for a human. Okay, for our human, input is basically the 5 senses, and the output can be the move your hands, move your legs, close your eyes, open your mouth, something like that. Okay, so this is basically what is going on inside a human. Okay, so in deep learning we are trying to mimic this. Okay, so this is basically how it looks like inside a human brain. Okay, so we'll have a neuron will get some signals and then they will pass the signals to another neuron that will pass it to another neuron, like that. Okay, so there will be lots of neurons, it will be processing all the signals and finally we'll get some output. Okay, so there will be many neurons, each neuron will send signals to more neurons and they will be sending signals to more neurons and finally we'll get some output, something like that. Okay, so this is how it will look inside our brain. Okay, so in deep learning we are trying to mimic that. Okay, so this is a artificial neuron. Okay, it's getting some inputs and then it's giving some outputs. Can anyone guess what these inputs could be for our cat dog application?
Pixels.
Exactly.
Pixels.
For our cat dog application, what is basically happening is that we are having some image of a cat and then we are passing it to a neural network. Okay, the pixels will be going to the neurons. There will be many neurons and all the signals will be going to many neurons. Okay, so neurons will process all those signals and finally we will get an output from this neuron. Okay, so let's look into it more deeper. Okay, so what will basically happen is that, okay, so before that let's look into another demo also. Now currently I showed you a non-deep learning based approach, right? So this is a non-deep learning based approach for a milk boiling problem. This is a non-deep learning based approach. We can even do this same problem using deep learning also. I have showed it here now. Okay, so this is a machine learning algorithm which is going to access this video. Deep learning algorithm is going to access this video and it's going to tell whether we should turn off the stove or not. Okay, so it's saying boiling and then it will tell get ready. Okay, so it will tell get ready. Yeah, so this is a video basically. It's telling boiling now, and now you can see that the person is moving. So it's telling get ready and then it's telling turn off the stove, something like that. Okay, so this is deep learning based classification. Okay, so how exactly are we? Let's focus on this problem. Okay, so rather than discussing our cat dog is somewhat easier. Okay, so let's take a more difficult problem and let's see how a neural network is able to do that. Okay, so what will basically happen is that all the pixels of this image will go to this neural network, and finally we'll be having 3 outputs. Okay, so our neural network will be giving 3 outputs. It will be giving 3 probabilities, like the probability of boiling, or the probability of get ready, or the probability of turn off the stove, something like that. Okay, so what is basically happening here is that our deep learning algorithms looking at an image and it is telling the probability of this image being a boiling image is 80%. So is this good? We should ultimately get how many percent? Like we know for sure that this is just boiling. Okay, so what should be the ideal probability which a neural network should give? 100%. Or in terms of decimals, what will it be? 0.8 and the Mari. The total probability. Okay, so this is a sure event. Okay, we know for sure that it is going to boil. Okay, so the probability of this being a boiling image is 1. Okay, we know for sure that this is a boiling image only. Okay, so this is the ideal world. This is the ideal world. In an ideal world, this will be the output for a neural network. But in real world, our neural network will give a value which is very, very close to 1, but not 1. Okay, so here it's telling 0.8, 0.1 and 0.1. Okay, so the probability of it being boiling is 0.80%. The probability of it being get ready is 10% and 10%. So what is the total probability?
1.
1 or 100%. Okay, so our neural network will basically do that only. Okay, in classification, our neural network will give output as probabilities. Okay, so that probability will lie anywhere between 0 and 1. Okay, so what we are basically going to do is we are going to look at this image and you should ultimately predict 1, 0, 0. So this is like we should ultimately predict x square, but it will predict something like x to the power of 1.99 and something like that. Here also we should ultimately get 1, 0, 0, but it will get something like 0.8, 0.1 and 0.1, something like that. Okay, so now like okay, so it should at least have what probability so that we can tell that it is surely boiling. In the probability it should at least have a probability of x such that we can tell that this neural network thinks that this is a boiling image, like that. It should at least be how many percent sure?
0.33, above 0.33.
Okay, okay. So
Because there are 3 probabilities.
if it is 0.33, then it will be, this will be 0.4 and 0.33 plus 0.473 and this will be something like 0.27, something like this. So no, okay. It should at least have a clear majority. Clear majority then will be what? It should have a clear majority. Okay, I'll give the answer for you.
More than 50.
Yeah, it should be more than 50% confident that this is a boiling image. Okay, so it should at least have 0.51 and 0.4, 0.2 something and 0.327 something like that. Okay, so this is 27 and some 2, 3, 7. Okay, I don't know the answer. So it should at least be 51% sure. Okay, so in order to achieve this, what we will basically do is, can anyone guess what we need for a machine learning? We need to train a machine learning. In order to train a machine learning, what do we need? Google does this, Facebook does this, Amazon does this. What do? They need
Images.
Yeah, they need images or data. Okay, so in order to train a neural network or deep learning, what we'll basically do is we need images. Okay, so currently I have many images of boiling. Okay, similarly I have many images of get ready, and I have many images of turn off. Okay, now if our neural network is able to guess the boiling or get ready or turn off for these images, it will also be able to guess the boiling or get ready and turn off for what kind of images? Images which are not present in this folder. Okay, so if we are able to predict these images right, we can even show it some new images. Okay, so I'll give a better analogy. Now let's say I'm writing a max exam. So in max exam, if I'm able to solve some 10 problems which is present in my textbook, in my examination, they'll be giving me some 11th or 12th sum, which is not present inside the textbook. Would we be able to solve that 11th or 12th sum?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So that is basically what will happen. Yeah. Okay. So if we are able to predict 1, 4, 9, 16, 25 for these 5 numbers, and we get something like x square, that same solution will even work for 10, 20, 30, something like that. Okay. So that is basically what we'll do. Okay. So now what we are going to do is we're going to take an image of a cat. Okay. So now, okay, cat run. We are taking an image of a milk. Okay, so we have 3 categories here. Okay, so I'll show you what is basically happened. This is a black box. In this black box, we are having lots of circles. What are they? Can anyone guess what these things are?
Molecules, neurons.
This is artificial neural network. So, answer comes now. These are all neurons. Okay, these are all artificial neurons. Yeah, these are all artificial neurons. Okay, this is a single neuron. These are all not neurons. Okay, these are all pixels of the image which are being fed to these artificial neurons. Okay, so that is basically what will be inside this neural network. Okay, so currently I am only showing some 4 inputs, but there will be thousands of 10,000s of inputs. Okay, so there will be lots of 1 megapixel will be 1 million pixels, right? So there will be millions of pixels which will be fed to this neural network, and there will be millions of neurons. And but at the end, we'll only be having 3 neurons. Okay, so we'll only be having 3 neurons. Okay, so 1 for boiling, 1 for get ready, and 1 for turn off. Okay, so this neural network, which has millions of billions of neurons, at the end it will only have millions of billions of neurons. It will only at the end it will only have 3 neurons. 1 for boiling, 1 for get ready, and 1 for turn off. Okay, so what will basically happen is it will just look at an image and it will just predict some. Now let's assume that this is a image where we should tell boiling. Okay, so it should predict something like 100. Ideally, it should predict 100. Is anyone, does anyone have any doubts till now? I'll wait for some 10 seconds. Yeah, okay. Sujay, artificial neurons are basically like they are not code. Okay, so they are some mathematical functions. I can say I can use the word functions. Neurons are all functions which will take some input and they'll give some outputs. Okay, so
basically the functions you say, those functions inside your code, right?
Yeah, neurons are all f of x. Each neuron is one f of x. It will be having thousands of f of x, and we will be combining that into a single function. It will take lots of functions.
So a function will collect all these data and assume a probable answer, and it will just give it as an output.
Yeah, functions should take an input and it should give an ideal output, but it won't give an ideal output. Yeah, that is basically what a neuron is.
No, like ideal is not. I'm asking like this artificial neurons you are talking about, right? Like input, artificial neurons, and output. So these artificial neurons are what you call this inside the code, those functions and stuff, right?
There will be some multiplication, addition, division taking place inside each neuron.
Those algorithms are called these artificial neurons.
Exactly. Yeah. So are you clear? Can I proceed, everyone?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, okay, cool. So can I proceed? What about the others? Please type yes in the chat if you are able to understand.
Yes.
Okay. So I'll wait for some 5 seconds, please. Yeah, Aruna ma'am, I'll clear it out at the end of the webinar. Okay, so that's beyond the scope of this webinar. I'll explain it after the webinar. Okay, so yeah, so I'll move to the next topic. What is basically happening here is that we'll be having 3 neurons, which is going to give some output. Okay, this neuron is going to give a number between 0 and 1. Each neuron will give a number between 0 and 1, and if you add all the 3 numbers, we will get total probability as 1. So this is giving 0.8, this is giving 0.1, this is giving 0.1. Okay, so if we add all of them together, we will get 1, something like that. Okay, so now what will happen is that in training, we should get this for this image, but what will happen is initially this neuron doesn't have any intelligence. So it will give some random numbers like 0.3, 0.3, 0.4. Is this a desirable answer? It should at least have greater than 0.5. Is this a desirable answer?
No.
No, what will happen is that now this neuron has some parameters. Okay, so we are going to adjust those parameters. Okay, so we will be adjusting those parameters, and what will happen is this outputs will change. Okay, so now what will happen is that this neuron will give something like 0.4, 0.3, 0.3. Now, is this better than previous solution which we got?
No.
Previously we got 0.3, 0.4 and 0.3. So we only had 30% probability. We should get 100%, but it said only 30%. Now we are getting 40%. Is it good? Better than 30%?
Yeah.
Okay. So what will happen is now it's better, but still it's not good. Okay. It should at least have 50%. So what we'll do is we'll adjust the parameters even more, and it will give something like 0.5 and 0.2 and 0.3. Okay, so now it's better. So ultimately what we'll do is we'll take it again and again. We'll adjust the parameters again and again and again for this single image. Okay, for a single image, we'll adjust it again and again and again until you get something like 0.9, 0.05, 0.05. Okay, these two things need not be identical. They can even be something like 0.06, 0.4, something. Ultimately, if we add all of them together, we'll get 1. Okay, so the total probability should be 1. Okay, so now it's being 90% sure that this is a boiling image. Okay, so for a single image, we are able to get this. Okay, so in our training data, for a single image, we got a good answer now. Okay, is this enough? For a single image, correct kandupidicha poduma? If we get the answer for a single image alone, is this okay? It should get the thing for all the training data. Okay, so it got it this right. Now we should get this right, like that. Okay, so now if it's able to get all these 250 images and these 100 and some 2 images and something like that. Okay, so it can have any images. Okay, so you need hundreds of thousands of images to get a good result. Now I'm only using some few number of images. Okay, so if it's able to get all these images right, what we can say is this neural network has learned something. Okay, it has acquired some skill. Okay, it has acquired some skill such that it can look at an image and it can tell whether it is boiling or we should get ready to turn off the stove or we can turn off the stove, something like that. Okay, so like that, for all the thousands of images, if we are able to get it right, we can even show it an image which is outside this folder. Okay, so now currently there are some 500 images in all these folders. Okay, so now if I show it a new 501st image, which is a new image which is not present in these 3 folders, it will be able to predict even that right. Okay, so by solving 10 max problems in my textbook, I can solve a problem for my exam also. Are you able to understand this? This is basically how classification takes place inside a neural network. This is basically what training is. Okay, can I move to the next topic, final topic for today? What about others? Yeah, okay. Okay. What about other solution? Please let me know something. Okay, so only few people are responding. So the tough part of is this, where you need to connect the camera on the screen. Yeah, exactly. It's like I'll speak about this in some few more minutes. Okay, so I'll give an answer to you in just some few more minutes. And yeah, okay, if you are able to understand this, now I'll move to the final application for today. Okay, so now what we are going to do is we are going to look into a medical application. Okay, so last time people were requesting for medical applications, so we are showing some medical applications. So what we're basically doing is, can anyone I can't tell it. So what we're basically doing is we are doing something called as segmentation. Okay, so can anyone look at this image and this image and tell what exactly are we trying to achieve? From this image we are getting this. Okay, so what is our goal here? Not classification. Classification is solladinga. From this image, I should get this image now. What exactly are we focusing on? We are trying to extract only the
milk features.
Milk. Okay, we are only trying to extract the milk from an image. Okay, that is called as segmentation. Okay, so here in this medical application, what you are basically doing is we are looking at this image and we are extracting only this part from this image. Okay, we are only trying to extract this part from this image. Okay, so this is called as segmentation. Okay, so now I'll show you a small demo now. So yeah, 1 minute. So this is a MRI image. Okay, so magnetic resonance imaging. Okay, so I'm looking at an MRI video and I'm extracting only that interesting part. Okay, this is called as left ventricle. Okay, this is a MRI image of a heart in heart we have left ventricle, right ventricle, pulmonary aorta, something like that, blah blah blah. Okay, so this is called as left ventricle. Okay, so we are trying to extract only the left ventricle alone from a image. Okay, so this is called as MRI segmentation. Okay, so let's look at the demo. It will take, each deep learning program will take some few seconds to initialize. Okay, so it will take some time. It will take some few seconds. So we are going to do segmentation. Now we are going to show it some MRI video, and from that video it should extract only the left ventricle. I will tell you why we should extract the left ventricle after this demo completes. Okay, so it's taking some few seconds. Deep learning consumes a lot of memory, so it will usually be slow. Okay. Okay, I think I'll show you. Yeah. So it's looking at this video and it's extracting the left ventricle alone. Okay, so this is what we should ideally get, and this is what our neural network is predicting. Okay, so this is what I should ideally get, and this is what my neural network is predicting. Okay, so it's looking at this image and it is extracting the left ventricle alone from that image. Okay, so this is called as segmentation or left ventricle segmentation. Okay, so now can anyone tell me? Here we got probabilities as output. Okay, this neural network is giving some probabilistic output. What is the output here? It is a
Grayscale.
I am not able to hear you. You're not audible, sir.
Grayscale image.
Grayscale image. Yeah, you're okay. Yeah, it's outputting a grayscale image. Okay, so or I can even call it as a black and white image. Okay, so it's looking at an input image and it is giving an output image. Okay, so it's looking at an input image and it's giving an output image. Okay, so here our neural network will only have 3 neurons at the output, but here it won't be like that. Okay, so our neural network will get an input and it will give an output. Okay, so it is giving a grayscale image. Okay, so now this is basically how a deep learning neural network will look for this application. For this previous application, it will be looking like this, something like that. Okay, for the another application, it will look like this. Okay, if you are not able to understand, it's fine. Okay, again, it doesn't matter if you are able to understand these diagrams. These are very complex concepts, but just know that it will get an image and it will give an image. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, this is a grayscale image. Okay, so a grayscale, in a grayscale image, each pixel will have how many values? Color image has 3 values. Grayscale image, each pixel will have one value. Okay, so now let's assume that this is a single heart image. This is a heart image. Okay, so this is the heart. Okay, so our heart values are something like 255, something. Okay, so it won't be like that. I'm just giving a small approximation. Okay, so this is all heart pixels. 255. This will be something like 127, something like that. Assume that this is these 4 are all heart pixels. And now these are all, now let's take some background pixels, something like 200, 230, 5, 0, 0, 1, 2, 10, 11, 13, 16, 27, something like that. Okay, so can we use some logic to split these 4 pixels from this? Can we say something like, I need only the pixels which are greater than 213, something like that? If I use that, will this pixel be selected?
No.
For Will, we did something like that, like all the pixels which only greater than 230 should be extracted, otherwise they won't be extracted. Something like, we tried to do something like that and we didn't get ideal output. Here also we won't be getting ideal output. Okay, so that is why we will be using deep learning. So what will happen is, we will feed this image to our neural network and it should give something like this. Okay, so what it should do is, it should give an output image. Actually, it will give something like a grayscale image, but it's not exactly a grayscale image. It's just like a grayscale image, but not exactly a grayscale image. Okay, so here it looks like a grayscale image, so you use the word. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so I'll explain it for you. So what will happen is that now this output image will be having the exact 4x4 dimensions. it will be having the, it may not be the case, but let's assume that the output and the input dimension should be the same. Okay, mostly it will be like 90% of the time we will be doing that only. Okay, so what should happen is that these 4 pixels are all left ventricles and these pixels are all not left ventricles. Okay, so for left ventricle, we should predict something like 1 0 1 0 1 0 1 0. Okay, 1 0 1 0. And for these are all we should give 0 1 0 1 0 1 0 1 0. Some, okay, this is ditto. Okay, ditto. So for these pixels you should get 1 0. Now I'll just ask you a small question. We are looking at this image and we should give 1 0 0, right? We should look at a milk image and we should predict 1 0 0. What is that called as? This application is called as? Looking at an image and categorizing it.
Classification.
Classification. So in classification, for an entire image, we will be getting 1 0 0 or 0 1 0 or 0 0 1, something like that. Okay. So if it is boiling, then it will be 1 0 0. If we should get ready, then it should give 0 1 0. If we should turn off the stove, it will give 0 0 1. Okay, this is classification. Okay, so here what we are doing is, for each pixel, we will give 1 0 or 0 1 or 1 0, something like that. Okay, so for each pixel, what are we doing? Can you guess? In segmentation, what we are basically doing is we are dash each images, each pixel.
Conversion.
We are dashing each pixel.
Converting into some other thing.
Category. Okay, this is one category, this is one category. So what are we doing? 1 0 is one category, 0 is one is one category. So what are we doing? We are categorizing pixels. Yeah, or we can use another word. We are
classification.
Yeah, classifying. Okay, so in segmentation, what you're basically doing is we are doing classification, but for each single pixel. Okay, for the entire image we are doing classification, but here for the entire each single pixel we are doing classification. Okay, so this is a left ventricle, this is not a left ventricle pixel, so it should be 0 1. This is a left ventricle pixel, so it should be 1 0. Okay, so this is a one channel image. So what is this then? How many channels does each pixel have? Each pixel has 2 values, so it is what channel image? 1 na 1 channel, 2 na? Okay. So what we're basically getting is we are getting a grayscale image and then we are getting an output as this. Okay, so for each pixel we have 2 neurons. For each pixel we'll have 2 neurons. Okay, so we are getting a 2 channel image. We'll get a 1 channel input and 2 channel output. So the first channel, can anyone guess what is the first channel? What will this neuron do and what will this neuron do? Can you guess? If a neuron like 1 0 na, it is something. If it is 0 1 na, it is some other thing. If it is, so what are we doing here? Okay, I'll give a better analogy for you. Okay, so forget whatever I told you. So what we'll basically do is we'll get a image. Okay, we'll get an image, something like this. Okay, these are all left ventricle pixels. This is the input. These are all left ventricle pixels. And the other things are all not left ventricle. So what you're basically going to do is, if it is left ventricle, it should be 1 0. If it is not a left ventricle, it should be 0 1. So this 1 0 0 1 and all for classification, what exactly is giving this 1 0 and all? What are these?
Presence and absence.
Yeah, what are these 3 things called as?
Output.
Artificial neurons.
Neurons. Yeah. So here we have 3 neurons for the entire image. Okay, for the entire image, we have 3 neurons. It will give 1 0 0 or 0 1 0. Okay, ideally they should give 1 0 0 or 0 1 0. Okay, so in segmentation, what we're basically doing is we are looking at an image, and for each pixel we will have 2 neurons. For each pixel we will have 2 neurons. And the 2 neurons, okay, here we only have 2 categories. Okay, here we only have left ventricle or not a left ventricle. So we only need 2 neurons. So if we, for our milk, we had boiling, get ready and turn off. There are 3 categories. So we had 3 neurons. But if you only have two categories, we only need two neurons. Okay, but here we are categorizing each what? There we classified the entire image, but here we are classifying each
Pixel.
Okay, so for each pixel we will have a two neurons. For each pixel, two neurons. Okay, so this is the input and this is an output. Okay, so this looks like an image. This looks like an image, but what this basically is like, this is the output of neuron. There is a neuron here, there's a neuron here, there are some lots of neurons. Okay, each neuron is giving a 0, 1, 0, 1. If it gives 0, it will be in black color. If it gives 1, it will be in white color, something like that. Okay, so that is basically what segmentation is. Okay, so what is basically happening here is we are having two neurons for each pixel. So that is basically what it will look like. Okay, so this is basically what it looks like. If you are not able to understand this, just know that for each pixel we will get one color. We will either get black or we will get white. If it is black, it is not left ventricle. If it is white, it is a left ventricle. Okay, so for each pixel we are doing a categorization. Okay, this is basically what segmentation is. Okay, ultimately we are only doing classification, but on a larger scale. Okay, so if you want an explanation for this, what I am basically doing here is our neurons, our output of a neural network will be like this: 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. Okay, so this is what, and the rest are what? Can you guess? Like, assuming that this is a left ventricle image, what is this output and what are the other outputs? For this pixel, I am getting 0, 1, 0. For the everything else, I am getting 0, 1.
So in
They
the
are not left ventricle.
Yeah, this is these are all not left ventricle. So these are all left ventricle. So what I'm basically doing is I'm going to split this into two images. So I'm going to split this into two images now. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm taking all the first values here. 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0. And similarly for this second image, can you guess what would be the outputs here? I'm taking the first values here. I will be taking the second values here. So what will be the outputs?
1.
1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So what will be here?
0.
Okay. So if it is 1 here, it will be 0 here. Yeah, you're right. If it is 1 here, it will be 0 here. If it is, it's transpose inverse. Okay, if it is 0 here, it will be 1. If it is 1 here, it will be 0. It's just ulta pulta. Okay, it's just the inverse or the not. Okay, if it is false, this will be true. If this is true, this will be false, something like that. Okay, so that is basically what is happening here. Okay, so these are all the first neurons of each pixels, and these are all the second neurons of the each pixels. Okay, so this is basically what segmentation is. Okay, so we can do medical segmentation, and we can even do another kind of segmentation too. Okay, I don't know whether I have. I have a video here. I don't know whether this is exactly that video. We can even do segmentation for car and all. Okay, so I'll show you this. So we can just look at a car image. We can look at a car image. Yeah, okay. So we will come to the thing. Okay, so we'll be looking at a car image, and we have to segment only the pixels which are belongs to the car. Okay, if it is a car, then it will be white. If it is not a car, the background is not a car, so it will be black. Okay, so this is basically what segmentation is. Okay, we can segment for medical applications, we can segment for car, we can segment for some bird, something like that. Okay, we can take any image and we can get an output segmented image. Okay, so this is the three applications which we wanted to show you. Okay, so do you have any doubts till now? Is it clear till now?
Yes.
Do you have any doubts? If you have any doubts, this is the time to ask now. Okay, so we have come to the end of the webinar. So we'll just be sharing a small link now. Okay, so Anirudh will be sharing a small link in the chat now. Okay, so we have to. This is basically the Google Forms link. Okay, so if you want a certificate, you have to go to the Google form and you have to fill in the details, and we will give you the certificate within 2 working days. Okay, so we will be giving it before Tuesday night. Okay, so now we'll be posting a small link here now. So you have to go to that and you have to fill the Google form and you'll receive the certificates before Tuesday night. Okay, only if you fill the form you will get the certificate, otherwise you won't get the certificate. Okay, so this form will be deactivated by today night 10:30 p.m. Okay, so you have to fill this form before 10:30, otherwise you will deactivate the link. Okay, so let's fill this form if you need certificate, and you have come to the end of this webinar. Okay, so these are all just small applications. Okay, I only showed you some 2 applications of deep learning, but there are infinite applications for deep learning. As I told you, there is natural language processing, and then there is reinforcement learning to play games. Okay, we can do anything using deep learning. I only showed you using image applications. Okay, so yeah, so if you fill the Google form, you can, if you want, you can leave the webinar now. I just have some few more things which I want to say. Okay, so if you are interested in to know, listen that, you can listen, or if you don't want to hear after this, you can just leave the meeting. Just fill the Google form and you can leave the meeting now. Okay, so now I've come to the end of the webinar, but I have some few more things. Okay, so what is basically is thing is in our startup we conduct workshops. Okay, so we mentioned it at the start of this webinar. Okay, so what is happening is we have a workshop called as deep learning workshop. Okay, so it's starting this March 27th. Okay, so coming next Saturday. Okay, so today is Saturday. From next Saturday onwards, we are starting this deep learning workshop. Okay, so many people ask doubts like, what is present inside a neuron? What do you're just telling neuron, but what is a neuron? What is happening inside that? You're asking lots of doubts, right? So it's not possible to cover everything within just 1.5 hour webinar. So in this workshop, we'll be covering everything. Okay, from the scratch. Okay, so this is a 6 days workshop. It will take place across 3 weekends. Okay, so Saturday, Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, like that. Okay, so it will start at March 27. Saturdays, okay, this is a Saturday, and it will go until April 11. This is a Sunday. Okay, so we'll be conducting on these 6 days. Okay, March 27, March 28, March 27, March 28, April 3, April 4, April 10, and April 11. These 6 days. Okay, this is a 6-day workshop. It will take place on these 6 days. Okay, so in this workshop, you will be looking at the you will be coding the application. You will be doing things practically. Okay, so the only thing which you need to attend this workshop is just basic Python. Okay, if you know Python, okay, these days everyone knows Python. Okay, so they are teaching it even for first year college students. So that's the only thing which you need to know. Okay, so if you just know the basic Python which they teach you in college, you can attend this workshop. Okay, you don't need to know machine learning. You don't need to know some complex algebra, blah 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 and all. Okay, so just some few things which they teach you in school, college and all. Okay, if you just know that, you are good to go. Okay, so you can attend this workshop which starts on March 27. Okay, so the fees for this workshop, okay, this is a paid workshop. So the fees for this workshop is 750 rupees for a single person. Okay, so for a single person you have to pay 750 rupees, and if you register, what you'll basically do is we'll add it. We are going to create a WhatsApp group tomorrow. So we'll create a WhatsApp group and we'll add you to that WhatsApp group, and we'll be giving you the materials. Okay, so we'll be giving all the software which you need to work in deep learning. Okay, so we'll be giving you the Python, we'll be giving you all the deep learning libraries which you need. Okay, so we'll be working in Python, and there's another thing which you need to know. You should have a 64-bit operating system. Okay, you should have a 64-bit operating system. Only then you can attend this workshop. If you have a 32-bit operating system, then you can't attend this workshop. So if you have a 64-bit operating system, you can attend this workshop. So in order to register for this workshop, we will be giving this link in the WhatsApp group today. Okay, so you can just click on register. It will take you to another link, the register link. Okay, so there are some few more details which you need to. Okay, so if you have some doubts, like will we give certificates and what are all those things. So if you have those doubts, you can look into this link. Okay, so you need a web camera. Okay, so you need a web camera to attend this workshop. So all more details is present in this link. Okay, so you can look into this link, and if you still have any doubts, you can contact us via WhatsApp. Okay, so you just have to fill these details, and if you just click pay, that's it. Okay, you can register for the workshop. We'll create a WhatsApp group and we'll give you all the software which you need to install in order to attend the workshop. Okay, so this is a 6-day workshop, and we have already conducted a workshop. Okay, so this is the second time in which we are conducting this deep learning workshop. Okay, previously we called it as computer vision 1 and computer vision 2. Okay, now currently we are calling it as a deep learning workshop to avoid confusion. Okay, so you don't need to know anything in order to attend this workshop. The only thing which you need to know to attend this workshop is basic Python. Okay, so if you want to learn Python, if you're not good in Python, what you can do is you can go to this YouTube. In our website, you can go to this YouTube link. Okay, so we'll go to YouTube channel. This is our YouTube channel, Chennai Robotics Platform. You can go to the playlist and you can learn Python from this. Okay, so if you don't know Python, you can simply go to this playlist. We have some 12-13 videos. If you look at this 12-13 videos and if you're able to understand those videos, then you can join the workshop. Okay, so if you don't know Python, then you can learn Python from this link. Okay, so we have tutorials in both Tamil language as well as the English language, and you can attend the thing. Okay, so the timings. So what are the timings for this workshop? So each day we will be conducting on Saturdays and Sundays, but for each Saturdays and Sundays, the workshop will begin at 4:30 p.m. in the evening, and it will go till 7:30 p.m. in the evening. So for each Saturday, Sunday, we will be starting the workshop at 4:30 p.m. and it will be ending at 7:30 p.m. Okay, so if you have some online class, okay, Saturday lang kuda en college conduct pandranga. They are conducting college even in Saturdays, weekends and all. We can't attend this workshop. Okay, so you don't have to worry. Okay, we are only starting at that evening. Okay, so you can complete your class and you can refresh a bit and then you can join the sessions. Okay, so we'll be starting at 4:30 and each day. Okay, for 6 days we'll be conducting for 3 hours. So totally we'll be teaching deep learning for 18 hours. So for 18 hours, you get for only for 750 rupees, you are getting 18 hours of tutorials. Okay, so what will we do in this workshop? So you will be doing a facial recognition. Okay, so it will look into my face and it will tell like this is Kishore, and it will look into Anirudh's face and it will tell this is Anirudh. Something like that. Okay, so you can even do handwritten digit recognition. Okay, it will look at a number 9 and it will tell 9. Okay, so we will be doing classification. Okay, so in this workshop we will be looking at the basics of classification. Okay, so there is segmentation and all those things, but in our workshop we will be teaching classification. Okay, so if you are interested, you can attend this workshop. We are starting it next week Saturday. So that's the thing. If you still have any doubts, you can ask now. Okay, so if you have any doubts regarding the webinar, or if you have any doubts regarding the workshop, or if you have any other doubts, okay, you can ask us now. Okay, so this is your time to ask doubts now. If you don't have any doubts, you can leave the chat. You can just simply fill the Google form and you can just leave the meeting. If you have any doubts, you can ask now regarding the webinar or the workshop. Okay, yeah. So we were able to understand all the things which were taught. Yeah, சொல்லுங்க.
Yes sir, எனக்கு ஒரே டவுட். நீங்க இந்த பிக்சல்ல லைக் சொல்லிட்டு இருந்தீங்களா, இந்த மாதிரி நான் பிக்சல்ல வந்து ஒன்னொன்னா ஐடென்டிஃபை பண்ணி அப்புறமா அதோட டேட்டா எல்லாம் கலெக்ட் பண்றோம் அப்படி சொல்றீங்களா?
ஆமா.
எனக்கு இது என்ன புரியலன்னா, சரி பிக்சல்ன்றது ஒரு இமேஜ், ஓகேவா?
அதையும் பிக்சல் ஒரு இமேஜ் இல்ல. பிக்சல் ஒரு இமேஜ் இல்ல. ஒரு இமேஜ்
ஓகே சாரி, பிக்சல் வந்து இட்ஸ் லைக் ஒரு அந்த ஒரு ஹோல் பிக்சரோட ஒரு சின்ன டேட்டா தான், கரெக்ட்டா?
யா.
ஓகே, அப்ப அந்த எல்லா டேட்டாவையும் வந்து எப்படி நீங்க வந்து கம்ப்யூட்டருக்கு சொல்றீங்க? லைக் வந்து லைக் நம்பர்ஸ் வச்சு சொல்றீங்களா, இல்ல ஏதாவது ஒரு அல்காரிதம் இருக்கும்ல?
பிக்சல் BGR வேல்யூஸ் இருக்குல, கிரே ஸ்கேல் வேல்யூஸ்.
ஓகே.
அந்த கிரே ஸ்கேல் வேல்யூஸ், பிக்சல் வேல்யூஸ் வந்து we will be feeding it to a neurons. ஒரு நிறைய நியூரான்ஸ் இருக்கும். எல்லா நியூரான்ஸ்க்கும் எல்லா பிக்சல்ஸோட வேல்யூ அப்படின்ட்டு இல்ல, நிறைய நியூரான்ஸ் இருக்கும். ஒரு நியூரான் வந்து it look into more than one pixel. Okay, each neuron will look into more than one pixel. அந்த நெய்பர்ஹுட் எல்லாம் பார்த்துட்டு அது சொல்லும் இது வந்து லெஃப்ட் வென்ட்ரிகலா இல்லையா அப்படிங்கிற நிறைய நியூரான்ஸ் இருக்கும். எல்லா நியூரான்ஸும் ப்ராசஸ் பண்ணி கடைசியில் அவுட்புட்ல வந்து உங்களுக்கு ஒரு இமேஜ் மாதிரி வரும். அந்த இமேஜ்ங்கிறது வந்து பேசிக்கலி நியூரான்ஸ் தான். நியூரான்ஸ் எல்லாம் 2D அடுக்கி வச்சிருக்கோம். ஸோ ஓகே, ஸோ ஹியர் ஃபார் an input we have an image. Okay, so image has pixels. Pixels will have grayscale values, gray 1, gray 2, pixel 1, pixel 2. Okay, so this will have grayscale value 1, grayscale value 2, like that. This is the input. Okay, for output also it is a matrix only. This is a matrix. Output will also be a matrix. Output to matrix.
சரி, அப்பனா இப்போ நீங்க ஒரு கோட் ரன் பண்ணி காமிச்சீங்களா, இப்போ கேட்டுக்கும் டாக்குக்கும் வித்தியாசம் கண்டுபிடிக்க, அதுல வந்து நம்ம கலர் வச்சு டிஃபரன்ஷியேட் பண்ண முடியாதுல்ல?
அங்க கலர் வச்சு டிஃபரன்ஷியேட் பண்ண முடியாதா?
ஒரு கேட்டுக்கும் டாக்குக்கும் இப்ப நீங்க சொல்ற மாதிரி இப்ப ஒருவரோட பிக்சலோட எடுத்து அதெல்லாம் கம்பைன் பண்ணி வர கலருக்கு ஏத்த மாதிரி தானே டிஃபரன்ஷியேட் பண்றேன்னு சொல்றீங்க இப்ப.
அதுதான் நம்மளால டீப் லேர்னிங் இல்லாம நான் ட்ரை பண்ணேன்ல, டீப் லேர்னிங் இல்லாம நான் வந்து ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஒன்று ட்ரை பண்ணேன்ல, பிக்சலோட வேல்யூஸ் எடுத்து நானே ஏதோ ப்ராசஸ் பண்ண ட்ரை பண்ணேன். இந்த மாதிரி வந்து ஒயிட் கலர்ல மாத்திரம் எடுத்து அதோட ஏரியாலாம் அந்த மாதிரி எடுத்தேன். பட் டீப் லேர்னிங்குள்ள இந்த மாதிரி அப்ளிகேஷன்ஸ் நடக்காது. ஓகேவா? ஒரு நியூரானும் சும்மா உள்ள ஒரு இன்புட் நம்பர் வரும், வெளில ஒரு அவுட்புட் நம்பர் போகும். உள்ள ஒரு நம்பர் வரும், வெளில ஒரு நம்பர் போகும். அந்த நம்பரோட மீனிங் வந்து என்னன்னு நம்மளால டிஸ்கிரைப் பண்ண முடியும். நியூரல் நெட்வொர்க் உள்ள என்ன நடக்குதுன்னே தெரியாது. ஓகே, நான் உங்களால வந்து ஒரு இமேஜை பார்த்துட்டு அது நாயா பூனையான்னு சொல்ல முடியுது. ஆனா உங்களால ஒரு லாஜிக்கை எதை சொன்னா உங்களால எழுத முடியல. உங்களால அது ஏன் அது பூனை, ஏன் அது நாயின்னு நமக்கு தெரியுது. ஆனா வார்த்தையால அதை விவரிக்க நம்மளால முடியும். We are not able to describe why we are telling that this is a cat. We don't know what exactly is going inside our brain. ஒரு நியூரான் நம்ம பிரெயின்குள்ள என்ன பண்ணுது, எலக்ட்ரிக்கல் சிக்னல் என்ன.
கேட் நம்ம சிமிலரா முன்னாடி பாத்துறதா இது கேட் நம்ம ஐடென்டிஃபை பண்றோம்ல, லைக் அந்த மாதிரி தான் வொர்க் பண்ணுன்றீங்களா?
ஆமா,
முன்னாடியே வந்து
நியூரான்ஸ் வந்து ட்ரெயின் பண்ணுவோம். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வந்து சில கேட் இமேஜஸ் கொடுத்து ட்ரெயின் பண்ணுவோம். ஓகே, உங்களுக்கு ஓகே. நம்ம பாலுக்கு வந்து நான் காமிச்சேன், அதே மாதிரி கேட்டுக்கும் அதே மாதிரி தான் ட்ரைனிங் பண்ணுவோம். ஓகே, ஸோ ஐ வில் ஷோ யூ எப்படி இருக்கும்ட்டு. ஸோ நவ் திஸ் இஸ் அ ட்ரைனிங் டேட்டா. ஓகே, ஒரு நியூரல் நெட்வொர்க் வந்து கேட்டா டாகான்னு பார்த்து அதை கத்துக்கணும்னா அதோட ட்ரைனிங் டேட்டா அப்படிதான் இருக்கும். ஓகே, ஸோ ஐ ஹேவ் a folder called as cat. I have some 12,000 images of cat, 12,500 images of cat. இவ்வளோ இமேஜஸ்க்கும் அது கேட்டுன்னு சொல்லி, அதே மாதிரி ஐ ஹேவ் 12,500 images of dogs. இந்த இமேஜஸ் எல்லாத்தையும் அது கரெக்டாக டாக்னு சொல்லிச்சுன்னா அந்த 25,000 கேட் டாக் இமேஜ், கேட் டாக் ரெண்டுத்தையும் சேர்த்து 25,000 இமேஜஸ் இருக்கு. அதை தவிர இஃப் ஐ ஷோ இட் சம் 25,001, 25,002, 38,000 இமேஜ், இஃப் ஈவன் சோ மோர் இமேஜஸ், அது வந்து ஒரு லாஜிக். அதுவே ஏதோ ஒரு அது உள்ள என்ன நடக்குதுன்னு நம்மளால சொல்ல முடியாது. நம்ம பிரெயின்குள்ள வந்து எக்ஸாக்டா எப்படி நம்ம நாயா பூனையான்னு நம்மளால சொல்ல முடியாதோ, அதே மாதிரி நியூரல் நெட்வொர்க்குள்ளேயும் எக்ஸாக்டா அது எப்படி நாயா பூனை அப்படின்னு வந்து அது கண்டுபிடிக்குதுங்கிறது நம்மளால தெரியாது. ஒரு நியூரான்குள்ளேயும் ஏதோ மல்டிபிளிகேஷன் நடக்கும். வந்து ட்ரில்லியன்ஸ் ஆஃப் பில்லியன்ஸ் ஆஃப் நியூரான்ஸ் இருக்கும். ஒரு நியூரான்குள்ளேயும் போய் இங்க அடிஷன் நடக்குதா, மல்டிபிளிகேஷன் நடக்குதா, என்ன நம்பரோட ஆட் ஆகுது, செப்பரேட் ஆகுது அப்படின்னு நம்மளால பண்ண முடியாது. கடைசியில வந்து நமக்கு ஒரு அவுட்புட் மாதிரி வரும். அந்த அவுட்புட்ல வந்து 3 நியூரான் வந்து அவுட்புட்ல இருக்கும். அந்த நியூரான் வந்து என்ன நம்பர் தருது, 1 தருதா, 0 தருதா, 0.5 தருதா, அதுதான் வந்து நம்மளால பண்ண முடியும். ஓகே, ஸோ பிரெயின்குள்ள என்ன நடக்குதுன்னு தெரியாதோ அதே மாதிரி நியூரல் நெட்வொர்க்குள்ளேயும் என்ன நடக்குதுன்னு தெரியாது. பட் அந்த நியூரான்ஸ் வந்து பிக்சல்ஸ் எல்லாம் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் லேயர்ல வந்து ஒரு நிறைய நியூரான்ஸ் இருக்கும். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் லேயர்ல வந்து ஒரு நிறைய நியூரான்ஸ் இருக்கும். அந்த நியூரான்ஸ்க்குலாம் பிக்சல்ஸ் போகும். நிறைய பிக்சல்ஸ் எல்லாத்துக்கும் போகும். எல்லா நியூரான்ஸ்க்கும் பிக்சல்ஸ் ஒரு பிஜிஆர், ஆர்ஜிபி, கிரே ஸ்கேல் வேல்யூஸ் ஏதாவது போகும். அந்த நியூரான்ஸ் எல்லாம் அந்த பிக்சல்ஸ் எல்லாம் ப்ராசஸ் பண்ணி வேற அவுட்புட் மாதிரி வரும். அந்த அவுட்புட் வந்து இன்னும் சில நியூரான்ஸ்க்கு போகும். அந்த நியூரான்ஸ் வந்து அந்த சிக்னல் இன்னும் ஃபர்தர் ப்ராசஸ் பண்ணி கடைசியில அவுட்புட்ல வந்து 3 நியூரான்ல வந்து நிற்கும். அந்த நியூரான் வந்து ப்ராசஸிங்லாம் பண்ணாது. இந்த 3 நியூரான் வந்து அவுட்புட் நியூரான்ஸ். இந்த நியூரான்ஸ் என்ன பண்ணும்னா ப்ராபபிலிட்டிஸ் தரும். இந்த நியூரான்ஸோட அவுட்புட்ஸ் வந்து ப்ராசஸ் சம்திங் இல்லை. இந்த நியூரான்ஸோட அவுட்புட்ஸ் வந்து ப்ராபபிலிட்டி. ஓகே, ஐ திங்க் இந்த நியூரான் வந்து டாக் அப்படின்னா வந்து இந்த நியூரான் 1 தரும், மிச்சம் 2 0 தரும். சாரி, பாயிலிங்னா இந்த நியூரான் வந்து 1 தரணும், மிச்சம் 2 0 தரணும். கெட் ரெடினா இந்த நியூரான் 0 தரும், இந்த நியூரான் 1 தரும், இந்த நியூரான் 0 தரும். Turn off the stove now, this should give 0, this should give 0, like this. Okay, so we don't know what exactly happens inside a neural network, just like we don't know what exactly happens inside our brain, but we just know that the neural output la we'll have 3 neurons and they will give this output. Okay, so here we are just categorizing an image. For classification, is it this or this or this? Only 3 classes. But for segmentation, for each pixel, is this left ventricle? Is this left ventricle? Is this left ventricle? Like that. You're doing that. Okay, so அதுதான் இதுக்கு இருக்கிற டிஃபரன்ஸ். உங்களுக்கு டவுட் இதுதானா இல்ல வேற ஏதாவது டவுட் இருக்கா?
இதான் சார்.
எக்ஸாக்ட்லி. ஓகே, கூல். சோ if you have any other doubts,
thank you sir.
சூப்பர்.
எனக்கு ஒரு டவுட் இருக்கு. செக்மெண்டேஷன் வொர்க் ஷாப் எப்படா இப்ப?
Senior, yeah. Segmentation வந்து in this workshop we'll only be teaching classification. Okay, but if you want to learn segmentation or object detection, YOLO object detection la soltu irukku, you just look at an image and it will tell what it is looking at. Okay, so I didn't show you in this webinar, pona webinar la adha kaamchom. Okay, so for those things and all, it's very complex which we can't teach it in just 6 days. But if you want to learn that, we'll be giving you
Yeah, I
all
want
the
to learn.
materials நாங்க தருவோம். ஆனா workshop எடுக்க மாட்டோம்.
Okay,
workshop
okay.
எடுக்க
So
மாட்டோம். But
give me
in the
some
workshop நீங்க
suggestion
attend
about
பண்ணீங்கன்னா,
okay.
yeah, we'll only be teaching the basic. We'll only be teaching the basics.
Okay.
But using those basics, you can learn more complex things. Okay, if you're strong in basics, you can learn the complex things. And in order for you to learn the complex things, we will be giving you the materials. Okay, so எதெல்லாம் பார்த்து நாங்க கத்துக்கிட்டோமோ அந்த மெட்டீரியல்ஸ்லாம் வந்து நாங்க will be giving you, so you can look at all those materials and you can learn them. And if you can have any doubts, you can ask us too. Okay, so you can ask any doubts even beyond what is being taught and all those things. Okay, so currently we don't have any plans to teach. Okay, because in order to attend that workshop, you have to know the basics. Okay, so only if you know the basics, you can attend the workshop. So that is why we are not conducting a workshop. But if there is enough demand, we might even conduct a workshop, something like that.
Okay.
Currently, we don't have any plans. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Does anyone have any other doubts? Yeah, don't worry. If you want to learn about segmentation and all, I'll be giving you all the materials after this.
Yeah, as soon
okay.
as possible.
Cool. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So what about others? We have any other doubts? If you don't have any doubts, you can leave the meeting. If you want to ask any other doubts, you can ask us now.
Can you give some contact number so that we can find out whether it is feasible or not? If I cannot attend it, then I have so many other questions.
Yeah, in the webinar, you are inside that WhatsApp group, right, ma'am? In that WhatsApp group,
Yes.
you are using the links. Okay, so there are two people there. One is Anirudh, and the other person is me. Okay, so we'll be having that name Uzumaki Naruto. Okay, so that is basically me. Okay, so இப்போ கூட நீங்க எனக்கு வாட்ஸ்அப்ல நீங்க வந்து மெசேஜ் பண்ணீங்க, ப்ளீஸ் லெட் மீ இன்சைட் அப்படின்னு நீங்க பண்ணீங்களா, அது நான் தான். ஓகே, ஸோ அந்த நம்பருக்கு நீங்க மெசேஜ் பண்ணலாம். ஐ வில் பி answering to you. Okay, so you can, if you want to contact, you can contact through that number. Yeah.
Thank
you. Yeah, Sujay. Yeah. So yeah, if you have any other doubts, you can ask us now. Okay. Yeah, cool. So if you don't have any doubts, you can leave the meeting now. So I'll stop the recording.